Okay, recording in progress.
We like that sound.
That's what we like.
Okay, this is the idea. You are in the
Yeah.
recording business.
Yes, yes.
And now apparently I am somehow on the podcast.
Yeah, right.
Welcome. Oh my goodness. Hello. This is Mirella Kale, your location gal. You are on my podcast, Fire Chat with Mirella. And I am so honored and happy and excited to have this wonderful guest on today. Not tonight yet, it's today. His name, this is his stage name. Now get this. This is the coolest name you've ever heard in your life. And remember this name because you're going to hear it again and again. And his name is Akhu. It's spelled Ahku, and it's awesome. So this is, I do want to explain this wonderful backdrop that I have here behind me. And because I have a still from a movie that you're in, and it's called Disrupted. And so is my husband, actually right behind me. Yes. And Chiaki Clanton also. And of course, Akhu right here. And we got this great shot of him looking over here. I love it. And of course, I'm so involved with Disrupted that I always have to mention it 10 times. So I hope you don't mind. But I do have to tell you that you steal so much in this movie with the attention, with your punchlines. I love your punchlines and your delivery. And I think it's your voice too. Your voice is incredible and it's so melodic. So one of the most favorite lines in the movie actually is when you deliver it, it's amazing. It's in the car and you're with Drew and of course Ron's there and Jelani, and I'm sure you can guess which scene it is, and you just delivered that punchline, and I'm not gonna give it away so people see it. But I just love that punch. And you just go, no. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I'm gonna read your bio that you sent me, if that's okay, and so people get to know more about you and the wonderful things that you're doing and have been doing, which are so exciting in the entertainment industry. Because you're not only an actor, you're also a voiceover artist and a pop recording artist.
Yes.
So, you've been busy.
Yes, I'd say so.
So if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and read the bio here that I have. And by the way, I'm going to share, with your permission, the links to your reels, which are awesome. I have the video reel and the reels for your movies and TV appearances, right?
Yes, I have a new website that will be launched. I was told tomorrow, but we're still in the process of working some things out. But it's iamakhu.com, where they can find all those links, bio and everything. Yes.
Awesome. iamakhu.com coming up, you guys, and you can find everything about Akhu on there. In the meantime, I will be happy to share any other links that I have here. And also on Instagram, are you sharing your Instagram account too?
Yes.
It's going to be links to that probably, right?
It's the same name at iamakhu.
There you go. Fantastic. Okay, so here we go. So Akhu is an American actor who can be seen in the upcoming The Death of Us.
Yes.
It centers around two friends trapped inside as the world falls apart.
Yes.
A critically acclaimed short film by Matthew Riutta, Across, about a grieving father's journey over a bridge, goes awry after he picks up a homeless vet. Additional credits include appearances in Disrupted and A Vote of Faith and an upcoming TV series, Nova Vita.
Yes.
Akhu began his career as Raymond Ross on the ID Network's I Almost Got Away with It as Darnel in Red Sleep. Other credits include Everyday Black Man with Omari, Hardwick, and Tessa Thompson, Spike Lee's Sucker Free City, The American Dream, and Straight Out of Oakland 2. As a teenager, Akhu grew up on the grounds of San Quentin State Prison with his siblings, mom and stepdad, a lieutenant at St. Quentin State Prison. Akhu looks back on his journey as he grew into a man on a mission with a plan to entertain through film, television, and music. He drew inspiration from Tupac Shakur, who resided in the neighboring city of Marin. In 2003, Akhu found himself in the center of a hybrid coming-of-age documentary, Know What I'm Saying? My Life in Rap So Far, told by USC filmmaker Rick Parrott. Quote, every man must find his voice in the world. Akhu's upbringing and perseverance is mesmerizing. End of quote. Akhu, soothing baritone octaves, has also landed him into the voiceover space and as a talented hip-hop lyricist. Akhu currently resides in Los Angeles. How is that? I love it. Wow, what a wonderful, beautiful summary, right, of everything that you're doing. But I want to ask you to please share with me, what is your latest project? What are you excited about? What's in the future now that we're opening up California? There are things coming up on the horizon, and hopefully more of the, of the, let's say, normal world that we want, right? In this space, and especially in the creative space, which has been very challenged by this pandemic, like many other businesses and things, but definitely, right, film production, everything was kind of halted. So tell me a little bit about this, where you are now, because that's also exciting, and maybe, what's on the plate for Akhu right now? What's the most exciting project that you're working on right now?
Well, okay, so I'm here at Bronze Studios here in Los Angeles, and I'm surrounded by a lot of creative people here. And so it's a treat to be here today and speaking with you. Thank you for having me on. So my latest project that I do have that's going on, what a great segue. It's called The Death of Us, written and directed by Jonas Brenneman and co-written by Anthony Theodorakis, co-starring Dana Schick and myself. And so the film basically is about three friends who live together and one who goes off to fight the pandemic as a doctor. And my character and my co-star Dana Schick were left to fend for ourselves during the pandemic and martial law. And we tend to try to battle that, as well as inner demons with being trapped in a home and not trying to kill one another. And so you have the pandemic as the backdrop, also with politics that's inserted once in a while in the film, that's kind of like coexists with what's going on and kind of gaslighting the situation. And so that film was shot last year, 2020, during the pandemic. So we shot within the pandemic. So it was quite a challenge, but at the same time, it was a film that I'm very most proud of, because me growing up as a child, always wanting to live in Los Angeles and work in television and film, it was my first time to work on a project as a lead in a feature film. So as many projects that I've worked on, that's one of those that I really take to heart and hold really close.
Wow, well, congratulations. I've seen only the small snippet of it, obviously, so far, right? But it's so intense. That scene I saw is so intense and so great. It really drew me in immediately. I was like this, like, oh my God, what's happening? And you told me a little bit about it ahead of time, so I kind of knew what it was. But I can't wait to see it, you know, when it comes out. And I think you are amazing in it. I already, you know, and and by the way, it's just, you know, this pandemic, I think we were talking about this earlier too on the phone. It's just, you know, the loneliness, the isolation that it brought to people, unfortunately, is so intense and so sad. And I think it's important to talk about it because we talked about, you know, all the physical things, all the economical precautions, all the other things that are, you know, as the result of this pandemic. But there's also a huge inner, you know, problem, right, with people just going through emotionally very difficult times. And like even in the workplace, you know, the Zooms and all this other stuff is great. However, you know, if you relying, a lot of people rely on that camaraderie and their colleagues at work to, you know, just talk by the water cooler and have that moment, bring some, you know, make a potluck, right?
Yeah.
We all miss that, but specifically in the creative space and in film and television, how difficult this was for you personally to just move, to just maybe just jumpstart, really, like, you know, light the fire under your career, and then this happens. I mean, and then you are in Los Angeles. That must have been so challenging, but here you are now.
Yeah, yes. And I always say to people I work with, how does it feel to be in the future? And what I mean by that is, so from the time that my buddy Jonas Brenneman, the director and writer, when he came to me during the pandemic and he said, let's make a feature. And I looked at him like he was crazy. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, make a feature film? How are we going to do that? And I used to give him this mantra that I live by, that it's possible. Anything is possible. So when he said it to me, I had to correct myself. I was like, oh, he's like, it's possible, right? I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, you got. And then when the film was done and we're here now and we're doing the playbacks and watching, you know, the film in its entirety, it's like, how does it feel to be in the future right now? Because we talked about it last year and now here we are with a completed project. And so to be here right now, at that time, it seems like it's long. And when you're in it, right, it feels like you're in it and it's this long thing. But you get here in 2021 and we're done. It's like, wow, we made it. And there were some serious things going on. Like while we were shooting this film, you have the death toll rising. You have all these things that's on the news consistently, radio, TV, you're hearing it. So all what's going on when we're shooting is real time. So it was it's one of the most, I don't know what word to use, but it was a sort of an enigma within itself, because to wake up to knowing that what you're acting and what you're acting out is actually happening outside of the home that we shot in. I really, I don't know. It's almost like equivalent to someone shooting a war film in the midst of a war.
Yes.
That's the only way I can attribute it.
I have to tell you that the emotion is, you know, I can sense and feel the emotion in you in that one snippet that I saw even. And I could feel like that you're immersed in this situation, right? So it really comes through the screen, and I saw it only on the small screen. So when can we see the movie? When is this going to be released?
So we're in talks with a few distributors, and so we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. And if so, sometime maybe hopefully toward the end of the year or the beginning of next year.
Okay, well, that would probably be great because things should smooth out more by then. And so we'll definitely be looking to see. It's called The Death of Us, right?
That is correct.
Yes, starring Akhu, everybody.
Hey, no. And Dana shit. Yes.
Akhu, and wait, there you are.
Oh, and that's me. Yeah, that's me back there. Yeah. Right on your show. Speaking of a movie that I worked on last year, directed by Andre Welsh, written and directed by Andre Welsh, starring Ron Kill, Akhu, Chioke, and myself. And Jeffrey, can never forget Jeffrey, but yes, so that's the team. I was able to work with these two gentlemen. We worked on a film, or excuse me, a series, TV series called Red Sleep together, where the chemistry was just made. And you want to talk about voices. If you listen to Ron, Chioke, and myself, it sounds like a bunch of bears in a meeting. You got, it's like all this baritone going on. It's like, you know,
I love that. I love his voices are incredible. And you know, I actually have a little video of the premiere in Redwood City when they did the little like a interview after the movie.
Mhm.
And so they were each speaking, and we missed you there. I know.
Yeah, I was here. Yeah, due to the pandemic and everything else that was going on, I hated that.
Yes. Oh, and I'm so sorry we missed you at the premiere. It was interesting though because they passed the mic, and so Andre was the first like, "Hi, I'm Andre Welsh, and I wrote and direct this movie." And they keep going. There's Jelani with his voice, right? And then there's Ron next to him, and he's mocking Jelani. He's like, "Hi, my name is Ron Gale." It was so cool. And then Jeffrey, you know, and it was really impromptu and kind of, you know, fun and whatever. So yeah, that movie, I mean, I told her, Andre, I said, Andre, from watching you just go through everything and you guys, I was like, I feel tired for you.
Yes.
I know. Yes. And you guys pulled all the stops. You were there for him whenever he needed. And all those scenes are incredible. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't stop talking about it because everybody's in the car in those scenes, and everybody's wondering, how did you even do these scenes in the car?
Let me tell you, we had some times, some really good times, and I don't know if Andre ever discussed what happened, but there was a scene where we're all in the car with Drew, Celie, and we're driving through San Francisco, and we were actually stopped by the police while shooting, you know, because here it is, we're driving up and down with cameras, you know, on the car, and it's just like we're passing by a pretty sketchy area, and so SFPD was like, okay, what's going on with this? So, but anyway, I always told Andre if we ever did a gag reel, it had to be in it. But
but I know you guys got away with it because of the filming. Basically, you said that you were
right.
They're like, oh, you're shooting a movie? Okay.
Yeah. So when they found out that it was a film and we had Drew in the car and all of us, they were, oh no, not a problem. We didn't have no. So they loved it, and we were able to continue our shoot up and down the street.
Awesome. Yeah, I know. It's an amazing story. And by the way, well, Disrupted is on demand. It's available on all kinds of platforms right now. So check it out. It's mysterious, it's thrilling, it's gory, but it also has a great message for the times. And so we, of course, encourage everyone to check it out. Have you heard about Tubi? It's that new app that people can watch it for free, actually. It's just, it has ads on it. So kind of a nice
I heard about Tubi. I have Disrupted, a film I had the pleasure to work on. That's on Tubi. Straight Out of Oakland Part 2 is on Tubi. I had the pleasure to work on, along with American Dream that I had the pleasure to work on. So I have 3 projects that I'm proud of that you can catch on Tubi, folks. Tubi, that's Tubi.
That's right. And you have no excuse because it's completely free. Just download the app, right? That's what I understand.
That's right.
You have to watch the ads, which, you know, hello, we have ads everywhere. So
yeah, tell me.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, that is so awesome. Now, you did mention Red Sleep, and I cannot not say anything about Red Sleep because Red Sleep is amazing. I mean, it's a web series, right? And can you tell us a little bit about it and your experience with it, please? Because of course, these other 2 are also in this.
Yes. So Chioke and I we came up together with the hip hop music scene. So we both used to record and do music together. And we used to talk about actually working in television and film one day together. I mean, we literally had this conversation on it. We always bring this up. And again, years later, here it is, there was an opportunity where he and Andre had a relationship because Andre shot a lot of videos. Andre Welsh shot a lot of videos with Chioke. And so they developed a project and or Andre developed the project Red Sleep. And so Chioke told him about me and my acting experience. And so I got a chance to meet Andre. And when I seen what the script was about, I was blown away because being in the Bay Area, there's a lot of projects that are developed there, but the way Andre thinks, he had it where it's where I saw a vision where it was a scale. It was on a scale of when you would see something really produced and done in Hollywood, is what I can say. Just based off the story and the way it was written. So when we got together, I was like, okay, I'm on board. And so we shot Red Sleep, parts of the Bay Area and parts of Los Angeles. And Andre is one of the most prolific directors I've ever had the pleasure of work with, shall I say. His style of shooting, what he writes, I mean, this guy, he's on to something. He's going to be the next. And I'm not saying that just because I work with the guy. And then working with Chioke, that's my brother. And I'm just it's like sometimes when he's delivering his lines or when we're shooting a scene, it's almost like he's improvising because it's you know when someone's acting. And I've never seen a scene with him that I've seen him acting, you know. And then with Ron is untouched when it comes to the characters that he plays. He's in the pocket every time. And I think what helps is the uniqueness of Ron, Chioke, and myself in the delivery and the tone and the writing. We just formed a brotherhood when we shot that Red Sleep. We were together like all day, the three of us. And so we had so much fun shooting the project. And when Andre came to me about Disrupted, along with Chioke years later, because we shot that in like 2012, Red Sleep. And then about 2.5, maybe 3 years later, Disrupted came about. I could be wrong, but I was on board. I was like, I get to work with my guys again, and we had a lot of fun shooting.
It was amazing to watch you guys. I actually had the pleasure of seeing a couple of scenes being actually filmed for Red Sleep and also for Disrupted. So like you said, I mean, I have to second that. I mean, Andre is really incredible. I call him the magician.
Yeah, yes. And the chemistry, it's like, the chemistry is just there. Like when we're hanging out outside of shooting, we're really having, you know, great conversations. And what you see about the trash talking sometimes in our scenes on Disrupted and everything, this is what we would do off camera. Ron and I, we had our time together where we would meet up, and then Ron and I would go to lunch, you know, and have lunch and just talk. And so it translates over, and I genuinely love these guys. Like, it's not Hollywood bullshit. I genuinely love those guys. Yeah. And so I would look forward to working with each one of them again. I mean, it's kind of like the Rat Pack, you know, you always see these guys doing the same. I would love to do something else.
It is the new Rat Pack. I love it. Yeah, no, it comes through. I mean, that definitely comes through your connection, you know, that's beyond just showing up on the screen, definitely. So, it goes through, and I would love to see you together again on the project.
Let's get the band back together.
We're looking forward to it, definitely. You know, we're always nudging Andre.
Yes.
But I told him, I said, well, this was a low budget film, but you know, coming up, we're gonna see some huge projects. But you know, anyone who has seen this movie, honestly, cannot believe, first of all, that it was an independent movie and low budget, because it shows just like a regular feature, right? So cinematography is amazing. He really has an amazing eye, and he pulls off these scenes.
I mean, again, Andre is who he is. It's like he has one of the best calling cards that I've ever seen from an independent director.
And tell you, yeah, that besides the ability, obviously, that he has, right, and the storytelling and all this great stuff that he does physically with the camera and all this other stuff. Number
Yes.
one is putting the right people together and
Yeah.
making it a family. Really, when you guys were anything you were shooting, you could sense it. How everyone, the camaraderie, and how everyone really wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Such a labor of love, and people
Yeah.
just making it happen, right? Just dropping,
Yes.
even for a day. I mean, we had people
Yes.
play. You had people, you guys just dropping everything. I remember Ron, like, oh, Andre's coming to town, so we're gonna film. I said, okay, so what time? Oh, like dawn to dusk, like all day till midnight, or after work. I mean, he would just do it, and whenever he was exhausted or not, or whatever, he just did it. And
Yeah.
I love that commitment that you had, and all of you did that.
Yeah.
Lives
You
go.
know what I can say is what was amazing is the fact that Andre would allow us to, sometimes get off a little bit of the script, and he would also add things on the fly that, like, I can honestly say a lot of things that I may have said in the film was because of Andre, his thought process. Like, I can improv, and Shioke is amazing. He's a master at it.
Amazing
But,
too.
although my character didn't have too much to say, there were certain things that I kind of just threw in there on the fly, and he's like, I love it. But a lot of the dialogue
I love
that's minimal,
every
all Andre.
one of
It's
them.
all Andre.
Yeah, I mean, he has those rants. I call them rants, like when Jelani just goes on and on, right, about life and about this and the situation. And then you think, oh, wow, this was something. And then you come in and you go, boom. And there's
Yeah, it's the 1-2 punch, right?
like a 1-2, and it's short, but it's to the point, and it just, it brings everything to light. Just that line, like that scene in the car, and there's several. I mean, there's a ton of them.
Yes, yes, yeah. It was like a lot of people said that. I've heard several times that people wanted to see, like, not taken away from anyone else in the film, but a lot of people like those characters and would like to see something like if it was just a short or a small short of
Absolutely.
those guys, just a backstory or something. I thought that was a highly big compliment that I would receive in the project that I worked on. I was like blown away by those compliments.
Yeah, I mean, this could be, a series in itself, honestly. Just guys, having having living life and doing things as those characters. And the interesting thing is, when I talk to you in person, it's and when I see a reel, everything it's such a range. I mean, I love to see this reel because it really brings up, different points that you can bring to light just by, modifying how you say things. And obviously that's part of being an actor, right? And being a good actor is when you really kind of, you transcend those feelings, right? So you can tell that from being a dad dressed up in a suit in the car going and helping someone who's this vet, and it's a very mysterious kind of situation there. I love it. I'd love to see the whole film across. That's very, very intriguing to me, this whole scene, and you seeing those messages come through on the phone, and you're wondering, like, what's behind this, what's happening, why is this, what is happening. So there is so much packed into that scene, just that little scene, and there you are, just being this dad and just going in your suit and going in the car, and then the scene from The Death of Us with the young lady, when you are just so full of emotion, and you just like you're exploding inside. I mean, I loved it. I mean, I think I was totally blown away and impressed.
The movie Across was written and directed by Riutta, and it's starring myself and Michael Curry, who's an amazing actor. We shot this movie, I want to say in 2019. And what's a quick backstory, I had auditioned for the film in 2013 in San Francisco. And Matthew Riutta gave me the biggest compliment that I've ever received from a director, where he said, "Thank you for bringing my words to life." I was just like, wow, never heard from him again. So I was just like, well. And fast forward to 2019, I received a phone call from him saying that, "Hey, I was referred to you from a friend. I'm looking to shoot this movie." And so when he tells me about the film, and I'm like,